Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 2022 Dr. John W. Harris Teacher of the Year event. This is the 34th year we have gathered to celebrate teaching excellence in the Sioux Falls School District, thanks to our friends at Vern Motor Cars. This is the second year we've gathered here at the Axtell Park Auditorium. It's a beautiful space and easily accommodates us and welcomes our 5 finalists and their guests, as well as our nominees and their guests. Thank you all for being here and for supporting one another. Tonight, we honor each of you in a very special way, celebrating your accomplishments, whether you're at the very beginning of your teaching career, somewhere near the end, or anywhere in between. Our theme tonight is a quote from Iver Garrison. This quote is widely used on websites containing inspirational messages for teachers. And it says, "A teacher is a compass that activates the magnets of curiosity, knowledge, and wisdom in a pupil." Interestingly, when one searches for information about Iver Garrison's life, and even in the time period in which he lived, not much can be found. One source says he's an author and a teacher, but little to nothing is known about his childhood or even about his current life. Leave it to a teacher to produce profound work, but hide it in the shadows, instead wanting his or her students or colleagues to take credit for it. That quote again is, "A teacher is a compass that activates the magnets of curiosity, knowledge, and wisdom in the pupils." Curiosity, knowledge, and wisdom. These are traits you both possess and you work to instill in your students. School Board President Cynthia Mickelson is unable to join us this evening because she's attending an event for her youngest child. Please turn your attention to the monitor for a special greeting.
Good evening. Welcome to the 34th annual Dr. John W. Harris Sioux Falls Teacher of the Year event. I am sorry I am unable to attend one of my favorite events of the Sioux Falls School District. Tonight, we honor nearly 70 teachers from across the city who are nominated for this prestigious award. In most cases, parents wrote to convey their personal appreciation for the time, care, and love they personally witnessed you providing to their child. Many colleagues also recognized an educational leader among them and took time to pour those words into heartfelt nominations. And then there were the students who, despite their required homework, willingly took on one more writing assignment to show their appreciation for a special teacher. Our nominees and finalists truly possess and inspire curiosity, knowledge, and wisdom among their students, acting as a compass guiding students through their educational journey. From the bottom of our hearts, the Sioux Falls School Board thanks you for your dedication. We know your days are long and seldom easy. You show up for your students every day and you give them your very best. Congratulations to each of you who were nominated. You have earned our respect, our admiration, and our endless thanks for challenging your students, believing in them, and preparing them for a bright future ahead. Once again, thank you, and I hope you enjoy your evening.
We thank President Mickelson for her words. And now I'd like to introduce the other members of the school board who will help us with tonight's celebration. First, we have Vice President Kate Parker, Member Nan Baker, Member Mark Mirren, and Member Carly Ryder. Please help me in thanking them for their countless hours serving on the school board. Also joining us this evening is a representative of Vern Motor Cars. Please give your applause to Jeff Reynolds. Jeff is the husband of an educator, so he knows how much time and energy you put into your work. He's employed by Vision Video Interactive, the advertising agency that works closely with Vern Motor Cars. Tonight, he has the honor of presenting the $4,000 check to the 2022 Dr. John W. Harris Teacher of the Year. We also want to take a moment to honor someone who is not with us this year. For the past few years, Justin Lake from Vern was a judge and joined us at this event to name the winner. Sadly, Justin passed away suddenly just a few weeks after last year's event at the young age of 42. We warmly remember him tonight for his appreciation of teachers and excitement to grow this celebratory event. Not only does Vernite Motor Cars sponsor this award each year, but they've stepped up to supply mid-year treats and pick-me-up snacks for your workrooms, so we thank them for that as well. In addition to naming Teacher of the Year winner, this year a new sponsor has signed on to offer a Distinguished Educator Award. Daniel Mueller is representing One American Bank this evening. And the bank's owner contacted us and asked us if there was room on the agenda to celebrate another deserving teacher tonight. We said, of course. So another one of our finalists will leave tonight with a $2,000 cash prize and the title of Distinguished Educator, thanks to One American Bank. Please help me in thanking them as well. One American Bank has also graciously supplied Oh My Cupcakes for you to leave, or for you to grab as you leave the occasion tonight. So make sure you take one of those beautiful cupcakes with you. Before we honor our nominees and recognize our finalists, we take a few moments to remember through music who it is that we serve and why students are at the center of our work and our world. As you know, Jefferson High School is one of our newest schools, and why not add new instruments in the lineup as well? Jefferson's Steel Pan Ensemble is the only one of its kind in our district. Please help me to thank those musicians and their instructor, Kevin Kurtz, for the prelude music and the number that we will enjoy from them right now. Take it away, kids. Pretty impressive learning that from the beginning of the year, I would say. Give them another hand for giving up some of their evening, too. Thanks once again, and before we continue, we want to thank a few others as well. The Sioux Falls Public Schools Education Foundation has been a strong supporter of this event for the past several years. Executive Director Allison Struck works hard to secure business sponsorships for grants that go directly to our teachers for innovative projects. The foundation continues to grow this amazing program to enhance the classroom experience for all students. In addition to the grants, the foundation also awards each first-year teacher a $200 grant to help them equip their classroom at the start of the school year. The Success Fund, a program that helps meet students' basic needs, is also managed by the foundation and has been a lifesaver for many families. I would encourage you to learn more about their mission and all the good work they do for our students and staff. Please join me in thanking the foundation and Allison. Additionally, our thanks to the Sioux Falls Education Association for providing the boutonnieres and corsages for each of the finalists. And Tim Eckert, our president, is in the back. Please help me thank them as well. And thanks to Ben Schumacher in the back for orchestrating the live stream and recording tonight's event. Ben also created the finalist video presentation we will be seeing later in the program. Special thanks to our community relations and community education team for their coordination of the Teacher of the Year program. They do a great job. Also, a special thank you to our judges who spent so many hours reading and rereading the nominations and coming together to select the finalists in this year's winner. Please stand to be recognized when your name is announced and help me thank them at the end with some applause. First, Kate Parker, Sioux Falls School Board Vice President. Reese Allman, partner at Davenport, Evans, Hurwitz, and Smith Law Firm and board member for the Education Foundation. Lisa Carmody, former Teacher of the Year winner. Jeff Reynolds, Vernite Agency Marketing Director. Risa Kirkhavel, Vice President for Student Impact with Junior Achievement. And help me thank those folks, please. And now, for our first recognition this evening, please welcome school board members Nan Baker and Mark Murren.
Since Teacher of the Year program began in 1989, more than 650 teachers have been recognized as nominees and finalists. We have named 33 Sioux Falls Teachers of the Year. Nominations and letters of support were submitted by colleagues, parents, principals, students. As we announce the nominees tonight, we ask that you please stand as your name is called, and we ask that the audience to please hold your applause until all the names are read. This is Mark's initiation to get to read all the names with me as first-year school board member, but he has a leg up in that he knows a lot of these teachers. So, do you want to start?
I'm going to get going.
Okay.
Tyler Beisch,
Abby Berkey,
Erica Bertrand,
Andrea Lyle,
Susan Bursa,
Mario Chiarello,
Vincent Colford,
Robin Costello,
Michelle Crevinson,
Heather Crosby,
Kyle Dietz,
Ashley Eide,
Mary Fink,
Janet Fleming Martin,
Sarah Goldman,
Sarah Greer,
George Hawkins,
Justina Hazlett,
Nicole Hybe,
Shannon Holwheeler,
Trudy Johnson,
Raisha John Gouling,
Elizabeth Julian,
Katie Kielman,
Jessica Carnegie,
Katie Cruza,
Emily LaFrenz.
Megan Langet.
Julie Larson.
Michelle McIntyre.
Susan Mercer.
Shannon Miles.
Sam Miller.
Lisa Moon.
Kelsey Mosier.
Victor Naranjo.
LaDawn Nesky.
Bradley Newitt.
Gary Peterson.
Wilfredo Petit.
Ann Powers.
Peyton Pry.
Tamara Ranstead.
Jamin Rasloff.
Tanya Rouses.
Jennifer Reuter.
Lauren Rhoda.
Katie Rick.
Shannon Rook.
Billy Rothenberger.
Yenny Rez.
Trisha Runyon.
Chad Savvy.
Letitia Saylor.
Jennifer Scherf.
Kirsten Schemp.
Cara Soper.
Mallory Spoolstra.
Andrea Chakut.
Kylie Schwark.
Richard Thomas.
Lali Triadu.
Valerie Vandenhoeven.
And Anita Weck. Let's please give all of our nominees a round of applause. Please know that that round of applause really is showing our appreciation of your dedication and commitment to all of our students. Katie?
We're out of here.
And now it's time to meet our finalists. Turn your attention to the video screen to learn more about these 5 finalists, each so deserving of being named the Dr. John W. Harris Sioux Falls Teacher of the Year.
Nate Alfson is an amazing teacher, but let me back up and say Nate Alfson is an amazing human, and he makes people better and he makes his students better just by being around him. He is infectiously happy. He is a go-getter. He sees good in all of his students and helps them to realize that they have the capability to achieve at the highest of levels. He is a fierce advocate, and he is such a professional when it comes to researching new methods, writing grants for his classrooms, and really taking that into the next level and collaborating well with staff for the betterment of not only staff, but really his students and our community partners as well. When I think of Nate, he is not afraid to color outside the lines for the betterment of the people that are in his life. Whether you are a friend, you are a professional colleague, you are a student in his classroom, you are a community partner, he is continually researching new and innovative ways to be able to help the people that are placed in his life. And that's one thing I do really appreciate about Nate is he's not afraid to step forward in a really professional way to say, hey, can we try this? I read about this, or I see this grant is available to potentially do this. And so he's able to come to people and to collaborate on those ideas. Nate looks at each of his individual students and says, what is going to work best for them, and how do I approach that, and how do I instill that belief in them that they can achieve through those different methodologies. And so it takes a lot of flexibility, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of intentional insight and spending time with students to really develop plans that are going to work best for them and that will help them to achieve, again, at the highest level possible. He looks at that as a calling and as a vocation, and he just brings great joy just by being around him. And when you think about all the qualities of being an amazing human, he just brings it all together.
She has a very safe and pleasant environment for children to work in. She accommodates all different types of learners. This is a Title school. We have kids that are homeless, we have kids that excel, we have kids that have learning problems, we have kids that just are at the right level, and she accommodates all of those children. She has a lot of planning. She has everything structured so the children know exactly what they're supposed to do. She knows and has relationships with them, so she knows which children need a little bit more loving care to get their work done and which kids need a gentle push to finish their work. She does lessons that are engaging, so all of the students feel that they're a part of the lesson. Sometimes it's being interactive, sometimes it's doing movement exercises, sometimes it's just being a little silly and crazy, and the kids like that. And she's very personal with the children and their families, and that helps in their learning. She knows first grade, she knows what their developmental level is. She knows what their personalities are like because she's done this for many years, and that really helps her history, her background. She knows what to expect from students and what to expect from parents, especially if they're first-time parents with their first child coming into first grade. She also gets very up-to-date and takes classes in different teaching methods and then tries those in her classroom. So it's not always the same old thing. She looks for the new research and tries those things and tries to do things that are innovative, and again, that will be engaging to the students. She values every child that enters her classroom. She wants them to become a productive citizen. She wants the parents to feel that they're sending their children to a safe place here. She wants everybody to learn. She loves it when kids come back and talk to her. Even if they're in high school and they come back and they say, oh, I remember this or I remember this, and she remembers all their students. So once you're one of Diana Johnson's students, you're one of her students for life.
After having a conversation with Ashley, you always leave feeling happier and more affirmed about who you are. And I know she is that way with her students. If you were to talk to a middle school student right now, or a high school student, or an adult even that has had Ashley for a teacher, they would remember how they felt in her classroom. They would remember the experiences, and they would just remember how much she truly cared about them and knew about what was going on in their lives. And she's the same way with her colleagues. She knows about what's going on in the lives of her colleagues, and she just truly cares for everybody. I don't know how she makes time for everybody. She seems to have time for everybody, plus all of the planning that she puts into her teaching. She just must spend hours and must always ask herself, will this be fun and meaningful for students? She doesn't do boring when she's teaching, so she always makes lessons and experience, so students remember not just what they learn, but they just remember the experiences they've had in her classroom. Her students have adult pen pals this year, so she reached out to see if there were 25 adults that could be pen pals for each of her students. She's done things like hatched baby chicks, and she's had her students quartering soldiers by attaching little mini soldiers to themselves when learning about the Revolutionary War. When we did remote learning, she was one of the people who volunteered for the district to make some of those engaging lessons for the 5th graders in remote learning. And one thing she created and shared with us was a gratitude journal to have students do while they were learning at home. And we've continued that. Right now our 5th graders are doing a gratitude journal too. So when she thinks of those ideas that will be engaging and that are related to students' lives, she shares those ideas with us so that we can have an impact on our students as well. Relationships are what Ashley prioritizes, and she often knows what's happening in the lives of her students years after they've been out of Pettigrew. I can tell that Ms. Krotke wants her students to have fun and to have experiences. So before planning the day of learning, she thinks about what will they enjoy and how can I make this topic interesting to them.
We were at brunch one day, and my youngest daughter, who has her in class right now, she just sits down and says, "Miss Larson's so awesome." And I thought, this is definitely, it sealed the deal that this needs to be someone that is commended for her great works. When we raise our children or we teach our children, it's like an archaeological dig, that you want to get to the treasure at the bottom without too much alteration. Our job is just to dig away the dirt, dig away the things that we all have as part of life, and that's what she does. She finds the gold in students, and she meets them exactly where they are. And I think that is a very rare thing, and my daughter wrote a letter in my nomination letter that actually said she gets in the shoes of her students. You know, we can also say getting in someone else's moccasins. She gets in someone else's moccasins and tries to find that treasure, tries to find that gold. It reminds me of the letter that she wrote in an email to her outgoing 8th grade students that my oldest child got. And it was the biggest pep rally that I've ever read. If every person had an advocate like this, that you could go back and read the letter of how much that she believes in you, then this world would be a better place. The start of the year, she has the kids write a letter of who they want themselves to be by the end of the year. And that's why I think she's so excellent. Many teachers can be kind and fun in their classroom, but she really wants them to exceed and excel, and meets them where they are at the beginning of the year, and by the end of the year has them read that letter again, just to see how did this goal turn out. And I think that's what also sets Ms. Larson as a great nomination for Teacher of the Year, as well as a great human being.
When I think of Nick Opdahl as a teacher, I think of enthusiastic, I think of positive, I think of charismatic. I think of him as someone that the kids want to be around. They feed off of his enthusiasm for his job and see his passion in what he does, and they want to be a part of it. Nick's position here is interesting. You know, he came to us from industry. He was in the construction business for, several decades, and then came to us. And what an amazing gift that has been to the CTE Academy for him to come to us and be able to share his gifts and his skills in construction with these kids. He has real world experience, and he can really let the kids know what it's like out there and prepare them for the real world. Can you imagine building a home with high school students? You know how it needs to be done, but to patiently take them aside and say, you guys work on this, you work on this, and it's like a symphony out there. And he's the conductor, making sure everybody does just what they need to be doing. He also works with them on soft skills, which is so important. He wants them to communicate with him. If something went wrong, let's talk about it. Own some personal responsibility when you do make a mistake on a work site, because mistakes are going to happen. That is part of life, and that's okay. But he teaches the kids how you work through that. Nick could come into the building and just build the houses and just do the basic curriculum in his carpentry classes. That's all that's really required of him. He always goes above and beyond. We don't have a homecoming out at CTE, so we do kind of have a fun time at Halloween, and the staff dresses up in a group activity. He's made a Flintstone mobile and had the kids build it, and that takes a lot of extra time of his on the weekend. He brought trees in from his shelter belt at home to make the sides of the Flintstone mobile. He didn't need to do that. That's above and beyond. That's while building a house, 2 homes with high school students. He's done playhouses, and not just square playhouses, amazing playhouses with lofts and all kinds of stuff in them. These kids are getting an above and beyond experience when they take this class out here with Nick Opdahl.
Finalists, as we read your name, please come forward to receive your gift voucher for $100 to use as you wish in your classroom. Washington High School, Nathan Afdahl, Special Education. Garfield Elementary, Diana Johnson, first grade. R.F. Pettigrew Elementary, Ashley Crackey, 5th grade. Edison Middle School, Aaron Larson, English Language Arts. And Career and Technical Education Academy, Nicholas Opdahl, Carpentry. Congratulations again to all of our nominees and finalists. Please let's give them one more deserved round of applause. As Dr. Stava mentioned, One American Bank has stepped up and committed to sponsoring a Distinguished Educator Award for the next 10 years so that 2 deserving teachers could walk away each year as winners. I'd like to invite Daniel Mueller from One American Bank to come forward to present this year's Distinguished Educator Award. You could say that the recipient of the first ever award has gone to great lengths in teaching students. This educator has built structurally sound relationships with students and has been called a natural teacher, always pushing himself and others to grow and excel with positivity and enthusiasm. Extraordinarily patient, valuable team member, builder of homes, future carpenters, and craftsmen. Our first One American Bank Distinguished Educator Award goes to Nicholas Opdahl from the Career and Technical Education Academy.
And now for the announcement we are all anxiously awaiting. Through the years, nearly $150,000 have been awarded to outstanding teachers, thanks to our partner, Vern-Ide Motor Cars. Our ongoing relationship with Vern-Ide is a true gift to the Sioux Falls Public Schools. Jeff, will you please join me at the front? Or Carly? You can join Carly. As you will recall, our theme for this year is A Teacher is a Compass that activates the magnets of curiosity, knowledge, and wisdom in the pupils. So, as the suspense builds, we want to share a few of the words and phrases nominators used when describing tonight's winner of the Dr. John W. Harris Sioux Falls Teacher of the Year. Engaging, impactful, innovative, a real inspiration, a dedicated professional who believes in the potential of each student, the perfect example of what it means to be Teacher of the Year. One nominator wrote that our winner continually asks, how can I make this lesson more interesting and meaningful for students? The letters of support clearly describe how this teacher instills curiosity, knowledge, and wisdom in her students. On behalf of Vern-Ide Motor Cars and the Sioux Falls School District, I am proud to present this plaque and $4,000 check to the winner of the 2022 Dr. John W. Harris Teacher of the Year, Ashley Krecky.
Have my notes just in case because I didn't want to go on and on. So this is such an honor to represent all the dedicated teachers in the Sioux Falls School District that have one common goal, doing what's best for students. I've had the privilege of learning from and working with the best teachers in the district. I walk into my classroom each day knowing that I have a team that supports one another, creates engaging lessons, and most importantly, genuinely cares about the students that walk in our doors. My number one goal has always been to build relationships with students. I want them to leave elementary school knowing that they have a team supporting them. So our job is so important now more than ever, and our students need positive role models who care and who model and who guide them into who they are and who we want them to become. So thank you for this honor.
Congratulations to everyone, all of our nominees and our winners tonight. We are truly so blessed in the Sioux Falls School District to have such excellent teachers who support our students and our families every single day. Finally, I want to thank all of you who attended our event tonight. No one could have guessed all of the twists and turns our compass would have taken in education these past 2 years. But our students are led by the true treasures each time they come into a classroom, and that treasure is you. Thank you for coming and enjoy your evening.
Well, it is an honor to represent all of the teachers in the Sioux Falls School District who do what we do best, which is do what's best for kids. I am honored to represent Pettigrew Elementary, which is where I've taught for the last 13 years, and also represent the world of elementary, just because this is where my passion is, and so it's an honor to be nominated, knowing that there's a lot of deserving teachers out there that deserve this award. It was on my 40th birthday when the banquet had been chosen to originally be on February 28th, and then the email came through that it was on March 14th. We did have to laugh a little that it was on my 40th birthday. So my day was full of surprises. Having a birthday at an elementary school is always fun anyways, and then to add to the evening of winning this award just topped it off. So I have always wanted to be a teacher since I was a younger child. I spent hours playing school at home. My poor brother had to be my student, and I would make copies of things and just play school all the time. That's what I did when I wasn't at school. Growing up, I grew up in a small town of Toronto, South Dakota, and I had amazing teachers at my elementary and my high school who inspired me to be a teacher, and I would spend hours and hours after school correcting things, helping my teachers, doing whatever projects they could have me do just so I could stay at school longer. My 5th grade teacher stands out to me. I was lucky enough to have her in 2nd grade and in 5th grade. And so when I got the call to move from special education here in the Sioux Falls School District to 5th grade, it just seemed like it was the right fit because I admired my 5th grade teacher so much. And so this is where I've been ever since, and this is, I think, where I'll be. I think 5th grade is just such a year of transitions. We are preparing them to move to that next journey to middle school. 5th graders are fun. They are the big dogs of the school, the older kids that we feel we can kind of joke around with and really have that relationship piece with, but yet they still love their teachers and they love school. And just that transition into building them to who they can be when they move on to middle school and eventually to high school, and we get to be a part of that transition, and that's so exciting. I went to college at Augustana, and I graduated there and got a job right in the Sioux Falls School District. Out of college, I taught special ed at Harvey Dunn and Terry Redland for 2 years, and then I went to Robert Frost and taught 5th grade for 2 years there. And then when our principal, Julie Hartman, was asked to open Pettigrew, I decided to move over to Pettigrew. I lived on the west side of town, and I've been at Pettigrew ever since. Back when I was doing special education, I got my master's from Marshall and Southwest State, and I've continuously taking on professional development opportunities to learn from others and to increase and practice my teaching strategies so that I can improve in teaching. I just knew Pettigrew was home because of the community that I've built here. I was fortunate to open the school, and so some of those same teachers are here, and we've formed lasting friendships because of that. I also get to be in the same school as my children, and so that's a huge bonus that I get to see them in the halls and maybe attend some of their things in their classrooms. And Pettigrew's just always been a community of people that support their teachers and support the teachers, support the families, and I just appreciate that community of people that we have here at Pettigrew. My philosophy would just be to just know where you came from, and I think that because I grew up in a small town and because my family had such core values and making sure that my brother and I worked hard at what we did, we stayed committed to things, we were dedicated. We were taught that helping others was always the top priority in life, and so I think when I bring that into the classroom, just that part of being kind, stepping outside of your box, trying new things, pushing yourself to work hard at things, and staying true to who you are so that down the road you can say, hey, I went to Pettigrew Elementary, or you're proud to be a 5th grader that went to Pettigrew Elementary, and moving on to all the different journeys that kids do in their life. So I would say what motivates me is my colleagues. I have a team here at Pettigrew that is incredible. We challenge each other. We're constantly thinking of ways to make lessons more creative. We support one another. We divide responsibilities. So it's such a privilege to work with a team that gets along and supports one another. And of course the students, that's why I come back every day. Just knowing that they're gonna learn something from me, and I'm more than likely gonna learn something from them. I love creating lessons and themes and units that just bring in that engagement piece and that make students go home and tell their families about what they did at school today. And I think those are the moments that make us realize that we're doing the right thing, when we can have parents say, oh, my child told me about this today, and I'm so excited that they're learning this in a fun way. So those are the two things that bring me back each day. I would say being a new teacher requires a lot of grace. At the time when I was a new teacher, I wasn't a mom, and so I spent hours and hours and hours at school just trying to do it all. And now that I'm a parent of children and I know the busyness of life and how a different perspective from the parent side now, knowing that kids are busy, families are busy, and when we're with these students here at school, we can only do so much. And so my advice to new teachers is to give themselves so much grace, and that every year they're going to continue to learn, they're going to continue to find what works and what doesn't work, and they're going to have the support system from their team, their administration, and people at home that they can go to and know that they are still making an impact, even if they're making mistakes and even if they are feeling like they can't do it all, they're still making an impact.